John, thank you very much for coming out to talk to me today.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
John, I want to start out with the Mamaroneck Beach and Yacht Club settlement. Now, you were one of 2 votes against the settlement, although the settlement did pass 3-2. Can you tell me why you voted against the settlement?
Frankly, I voted against the settlement mainly because I really felt that the procedure really was quite poor. We got a copy of the document literally half an hour, 45 minutes before the document was going to be voted on. Exhibits were actually missing from the document that we voted on, and I really felt that none of the members of the board could really appropriately vote on a document that was missing pages and also had been given to us so late.
John, did you know that there would be a vote on the Beach and Yacht Club settlement on September 7th, the Tuesday night work session?
In fact, no, absolutely not. We were told in no uncertain terms via a copy of an email out to residents by the mayor that there would be no vote. And in fact, there was a vote. We were given that document, at 6:30 and had very little opportunity to review that document. And it's a 30-page document without the exhibits. It's a 60-something page document with the exhibits. And I received the exhibits 2 days after we voted on it. Nobody on the board could be informed and educated and really appropriately vote on this without some time to read through the document and deliberate over it. And I really felt that we were all doing a disservice to the community by voting on it without having that opportunity.
My understanding was Mayor Rosenblum read the document in its entirety into the record that night.
That's correct.
Was that not sufficient opportunity for you to glean what was in the papers?
As I stated earlier, the document did not even have the exhibits attached to it, so frankly, he could have read that 3 or 4 times and we still would not have had the full document that we voted on. I don't think even putting it up to vote was responsible. I think actually sitting down with our attorneys and reviewing the document in an appropriate form, in an appropriate setting, where we could ask questions about the ramifications of what was included in that document, was important. I mean, what happens to Hampshire? What happens to other large pieces of property throughout the community that could be affected under the way this is being reviewed by the planning board?
I want to talk about the budget for a minute. Now,
sure.
Mayor Rosenblum is taking credit for the financial health of the village. How do you react to that?
When we voted on the budget, I voted in favor of this year's budget because I felt that it was a rainy day. And my statement at the time was, if this is not a rainy day, I don't know what is. But frankly, what we've done is take money out of our savings account and use it for our operating expenses, for our daily expenses. And I think what people need to understand is the only reason that money was in the surplus for us to take money out of was because of previous boards planning and doing responsible budgeting and trying to cut back on our expenses. We didn't cut back on really much of anything last year.
John, the Ethics Board has recommended certain changes to the ethics law. When the Democrats regain a majority, how will you handle those recommendations?
Well, I'd just like to be clear about something. When I was first elected the first time around and I had to fill out what I consider a very substandard ethics form, I realized how truly important a revision of the ethics law would be, including the documents that residents needed to, board members needed to sign off on. And so Tony, Tom, and I worked on revising that. And then when we basically had the full majority of the board, we instituted a new ethics board and a new ethics law. An ethics law basically makes sure that transactions and involvement in events is truly arm's length and that there are really no appearances of the conflict of interest. And I think that residents deserve that from their village boards and the various officials in the village. And I have no problem with that. And personally, I think it's valuable to make sure that residents of the community can really believe in the government that supports them.
Can you fill me in on what the controversy is surrounding sport time in Harbor Island Park?
Well, I think the real issue, and I think it goes to the heart of the matter, is whether or not the village should be involved with a private corporation and essentially leasing them public parkland for them to run a private corporation and a for-profit corporation. Before we discuss expanding their footprint and other things, we need to evaluate whether or not this is in the best interest of the community.
Can you tell us about the funding for sport time?
Right now, there's a proposal in front of us for sport time to be financed by the village, and for us to issue essentially bonds to back their financing. And frankly, I'm not too supportive of that. I don't understand why the village would be involved in something like that. It seems like a speculative business. No matter how successful or conservative they say they are, why should village resources be put behind a private corporation's business plan?
John, tell me why you want to continue to serve as trustee in the village.
Well, I'd like to continue to serve as trustee because I'm raising my family here. I'm a local realtor and I grew up here, a lifelong resident. And I really feel that Mamaroneck has a lot to offer. It's unique, and I think the uniqueness is a wonderful thing, and it should be accentuated, and it's a positive for the community, and I'd like to see us build upon that. We have sport time coming up. We have issues about Hampshire that need to be addressed. I don't know if we'll still have issues regarding Mamaroneck Beach and Yacht Club. You know, there are pieces of property along Boston Post Road that will probably be redeveloped at some point. There's also the old Blood Brothers property. You know, these are big, potentially big projects that could influence the community for many, many, many years to come. And I think that it's important to have a lot of rational, clear-thinking people who are very concerned about the community, having a look at those projects and, you know, making good decisions.
John, I want to thank you so much for coming and talking to me about the issues important to the village of Mamaroneck.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I hope the residents of the village of Mamaroneck and the voters will turn out and really give support to Tony, Sid, and myself, because I really feel that we'll be thoughtful in how we treat residents, and we'll also be extremely thoughtful in how we spend taxpayer money.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.